I used to use Claude the same way as ChatGPT. Ask, copy, paste, and repeat. Then I found 3 different features that made me realize that I was barely scratching the surface. Hello there, my name is Paul, this is my channel, my Neat Flow, and here we're gonna talk a little bit about how can we get the most of, in this case, Claude. So perhaps you're just starting and you hear Claude everywhere, but you still don't know how to actually use it properly. We're gonna talk about different things that you can use to make your life easier. Before we dive into it, I just want to talk a little bit about the models that currently Claude is providing so we can actually use it. So without further ado, this is Haiku. This is the fastest model. How to use it, or where you can actually use it. So perhaps in an automation to respond real fast, chatbot, things like that. This is the fastest model. Then we have Sonnet, which is like in between the Haiku, Opus, which is like for most complex actions, coding, for example. If you are developing an application, this is the one that you're gonna go for. And why this is important is because when you sign up for Claude, by the way, I'm gonna leave the link down below here if you wanna join Claude. So the reason why we talk a little bit about the models is because when you sign up for a plan, you have an amount of tokens that you can use. And if you use Opus, it will consume more tokens. And you just need to wait a few hours to reset and then you can use it again. So, and the way that you can see it is just going on settings, then usage, and here you can see it will reset my tokens in 3 hours and 50 minutes. Okay? Without further ado, the first thing that I want to talk about is projects and why this is so good. If you click right here, you're gonna see this different projects that I've created. And when I realized that we can actually use this feature, it made my life much easier because you can actually keep the context of whatever you are building. It is true though that right now we have a much longer thread to use in Claude, but in the past, not long ago, just after a few interactions, you would need to open a new thread. Projects was a feature really good for keeping the context for everything that you were creating. Not only for that, but when you create a project, and I'll do it right now to make it easier. So let's say you are working on opening a business, and then perhaps you are opening a law firm. I don't know. You describe your business here. Business description. Okay, and you create the projects. Okay, why projects are amazing? First of all, remember what we talked about the models. Here is where you can change. For this task, I'll just put it Sonnet just because I don't want to spend a lot of tokens with Opus 4.8, but at the same time, I want to see, a little bit more. I still have a lot of tokens, as you guys saw, like I just spent like 3%. Anyways, and then effort, that's also a thing, like how much effort each model, in this case, the one that you picked right here, will spend on this task or thinking on what you provided on your input. I just leave it as it is, default, low, no problem. So let's talk about instructions. So right here, guys, it's basically what Claude will do with what Claude is actually helping you guys with. So just an example, I just have instruction here for my law firm. About the firm, small immigration practice. Why immigration? Didn't say anything about immigration. And I'm using another thread here on the side, guys, just to make it easier, but perhaps it's my accent. Anyways, 5 to 25 staff. We handle visa applications, citizenship cases. Okay. how I want you to respond. Straight to the point, no preamble, don't restate what I said, flag anything that needs a lawyer, review before action. How do you want Claude to react, or how it will help you on this project? So let's just save it for now. So guys, perhaps you've got like some PDF files with a lot of information that's crucial for your company. If you put right here in files, whenever you open a thread, it will actually be able to read it for you, okay? Yeah, so projects, it's just like amazing. You have to use it. If you haven't used it, do it. Now, guys, I want to talk about co-work. Well, in this case, I prefer to use the application on desktop, Claude. Okay, I've got it right here. So here we've got like chat, which is the LLM, the way that we were putting the input and receiving the output. But here we see co-work. What's on your plate today? With co-work, you can set a scheduled automation to read some of the files that you have there, summarize something for you. Here is you actually can do it, okay? Working on projects, choose a folder. Perhaps I have a folder here on my PC with can be my PDF files that I want them to read every day, because people in my company just drop all the files in this server right there. So I want co-work to help me to flag anything that perhaps is wrong or summarize something. Co-work would be amazing for this type of situation. Guys, if you want me to do like a extended version of co-work, because this is like really extensive, like that things that you can do with co-work. I just want to give you just an idea, so perhaps you haven't heard about co-work. So the best way to actually learn is if you just put your hands on it and try to play with it, you know. And again, like if you're starting, just go with Haiku or Sonnet, you know, because it will give you more inputs and more chances to commit mistakes, you know. And this is fine, guys. There is no point if you are learning to put like Opus 4.8. All right. Talking about the last feature, skills. We were talking about how projects can be really, really good when you're talking about the instructions that you give for the particular project that you are working on. On that case, it was the formula. But let's say that you want to teach Claude on when X happens, do step 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is a skill. So this is something that you can actually teach Claude on how to act on certain situations. I was thinking about a way to show on this feature in particular, and I'm just thinking that I want to create a new skill. Every time I mention about instruments, guitars, anything related to music, I want you to search on the internet the best price for me. Let's see how it reacts. It is creating right now a skill for us, guys. It's as simple as that. There we go. So it has created a skill for us. Can you see the input that I shared? It was just like, I want to create a new skills. Every time I mention about instruments, guitars, anything related to music, I want you to search on the internet the best price for me. So it created like a description for me. And then it gave like a name, music price finder. When the skills triggers, search the web for current best prices for the mentioned instrument on gear and present results concisely. And then there is the behavior, search, strategy, output, format. And guys, there is no way that you can do a better skills than the Claude itself. And don't get me wrong, but every time I create something, I just don't take my word for that. I just ask Claude, how can I actually make it better? Am I missing something? Can you do some research on the internet and help me to get the best prompt for this skill? Just as an example, okay? So now I just want to try Claude. I'm thinking about buying marching, well, not marching guitar, let's put it recorder called, I don't know if they still selling this, but I'm just curious. Let's go. There we go. Searching the web. So it has triggered the skill. It recognized that is I was talking about instruments, music, and here it goes. So that's interesting because it knows already that I'm living in Ireland, and it gave me like a few options, you know, around here. So Ireland, UK, you see, even like secondhand stuff. This is amazing. Guys, think about whatever you guys can do with skills. This is like, there is no limit. Just keep practicing, guys. Don't be afraid of using, you know, so we have those tools. We need to use it. We need to adapt. If there is any questions or if there is anything that I can help, just share a comment right there, and I will try my best to help you guys out. Cool. Thank you. See you guys in the next video.